be a master of Pokémon. Do you have the skills to be number one? I want to take the ultimate step, find the courage to be bold, to risk it all and not forget the lessons that I hold.
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 115 of the Pokemon Snapshot. How are you doing tonight, Josh?
We're getting closer to summer, Jeff, and I'm just getting better and better every week.
Yes, Josh gets to not work during the summer, unlike us, so I feel like you're always just looking forward to the next break.
I know. It's the only way I make it through the day, Jeff.
So what have you been up to? You're not quite on break yet, but what have you been doing?
Well, yesterday I had a doctor's appointment at 8 in the morning. This is on a Thursday. I went and I walked out of the appointment at 8:20 and went back home and did whatever I wanted the rest of the day since I took the entire day off. I don't take half days. We don't do half days around here.
No, half days are the worst.
Yeah. I did start playing Alan Wake 2. I went through and I did like a recap of the first Alan Wake and Control just to like refresh myself, especially since Control 2 is coming out this year, or Control Resonant. And I started playing Alan Wake, and I've only played like an hour, so I'm not super far into it, especially since I have to like explore every nook and cranny on the map. So it takes me
Okay.
longer than most people, but it's good. I like it so far.
I'm interested to hear what you think of it. So I tried to play the original Alan Wake, but even the remaster is very clunky.
The controls in the original are super clunky. They're not bad in this one. It's way more updated. And
Okay.
it's different too.
All right, and I really like Control, so as long as I guess there's the what happened, I wouldn't need to play the original.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched a playthrough like a while back. The story is really good, but yeah, the controls are way too clunky.
Okay.
2010 controls do not cut it.
Yeah, and they didn't fix anything in the remaster.
Yeah.
But it's a game series I've been really wanting to get into because everyone seems to love it. I
Yeah.
did play Control, and I really did like Control.
Yeah, it's like probably a top 5 game of all time for me.
So I'm excited for Control Resonant as well because it's not really scary. It's more of just like a detective trying to figure out the lore.
Yeah. Just set in like paranormal, paranatural setting.
Yeah, well, I have been playing the opposite of a paranormal, paranatural game. I have been playing, well, I guess there is some paranormal activity in my game.
Is it me in a crop top?
You are no longer wearing a crop top. You're actually just
Okay.
wearing regular clothes now because, again, you asked for a change in clothes. You were wearing a hamster suit. And
This
then
is
you asked.
Tomodachi Life, by the way, people.
Yes. And then you asked for other clothes. And now you're just wearing like a beach t-shirt and shorts and
Tell everyone
flip-flops.
what I've been doing with my time.
And you are constantly asking to live with my mom.
Oh. You haven't told your mom about this in real life, have you?
I have not told my mom
Okay,
about
good.
this in
She's
real
gonna
life.
get some ideas.
But I'm really enjoying the game. The game is just silly. I've added a lot of other people I know to the game, some fictional people. One of my friends and coworkers, she is currently married to Bob Ross.
Okay. Good pairing.
I had Barack Obama, and I sent Josh a picture of him and Barack Obama sitting, and it says, what did you say? It says you were complaining about Obamacare.
Don't get me started, Jeff.
But the game is just at the point where I don't play a lot. I go and check in what my newscast is for the day. I see how all my characters are doing. And it's just seeing what hilarity has been ensuing. And let me tell you, hilarity does ensue.
Yeah. Did you have to put in my age?
Yes.
Okay. It saw that I was an old man and just immediately started complaining about Obamacare. This old white guy, the only thing he knows how to talk about is complaining about Obamacare.
Well, what's funny, and I can't remember was you, it might have been you. So to get Mies to become friends, you can drag them over to each other and they'll start having a conversation. So, and the more your Mies become friends with other people, the more stuff that can happen on your island. So what I did is I like dragged your character over to like my daughter's character, Kyrie, who's 10. And your character goes, Kyrie and I get so along because we are close in the same age. And I'm like, no, you're not.
I don't like that. Let's not. That's weird.
My favorite thing is also if two Miis are having a conversation and one Mii walks by, sometimes they'll just stop and they'll just like put their hand up to their ear and like try to listen to their conversation. It's
So
just
they're all super nosy.
Yep. It's like a real neighborhood. But it's been a fun
like
game.
The Bachelor in Paradise or Love Island, except everyone's just supposed to be friends, except I don't know, your coworker and Bob Ross.
Yeah. And then the game hates my wife. I'm sorry, Jesse. The game hates her for some reason. I'm
What
gonna
did it
tell
do?
you when you put people up, you can ask if there's any like outside relationships, which doesn't mean they're gonna get together.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I put Tyler on my island. The first thing he did is get a massive crush on my wife. But we are not married in the game. And so I've been like working really hard to get us, and it got to the point where she really liked my character, my me.
Mm-hmm.
So finally she goes, "Oh, I really like Jeff. Should I ask him out? Should I ask him out?" And I say, "Yes." So she goes to ask him out and she asked me out. And in the middle of her asking me out, this other me slams through the door and goes, "Actually, I love Jeff."
Who was it?
And then my coworker.
Wow,
And then,
dude, we've got a love triangle going on. I'm pretty sure it's like a love dodecahedron going on.
well, it gets better. So then my me goes, "Yeah, I actually like her better." and, and so then Jesse's me gets very depressed, like doesn't
Okay.
want to do anything if you bring her to anybody.
Right.
And then my me and the other me puts us outside, and then the coworker me goes, "Actually, I don't really have feelings. I just saw someone proposing and I thought it'd be something fun to do."
Oh.
That's a thing though, Josh. This happened on 2 occasions when Jesse
Wow.
tried to propose to me.
Guess it just wasn't meant to be.
No, but Jesse and I are living together now. We're good.
Okay. All right.
We're not married, but we're living together.
My character, since he's an old guy, apparently is going to be complaining about that pretty soon.
But no, the game's really fun. I'm sure I'll share more stories. It's the more Miis I add. The only thing I don't like, and it's been kind of the complaint going around the internet, is that there's not really a bunch of sharing capabilities because Nintendo shut them all down.
Yeah, classic.
Which I understand
Nintendo.
because you can put anything into this game, which I don't know why Nintendo wouldn't just put filters on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they put filters on the new Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green that came out. Like, you can't use certain words for nicknames for Pokemon or your character, but they didn't do it with this. And so that, like, whenever I have to share a picture to Josh, I have to take a picture with my phone of my Switch and send it to him, rather than
It reminds me of the dark days, Jeff. The Zoomers will never know what that's like.
So yeah, so that's been what I've been doing. I've been playing Tomodachi Life.
So what about Pokemon news? What have we got coming up this week, or what came out this week?
We have one bit of Pokemon news, and what the Pokemon news this week was, it was in honor of Pokemon's 30th anniversary. They're creating a new Poké Rap in Japan that will eventually include all 1,025 Pokemon. The first video was released on April 22nd and included the first 213 Pokemon. I didn't look up the video because I don't speak Japanese. It's the Japanese Pokemon, so
That's kind of insane. I wonder, are they going to do it in English, you think?
I don't know. I would love them to.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be my workout jam if I worked out.
How long is the, like, or over 1,000 Pokemon rap? How long is that going to be?
I mean, what the original Poké Rap is the length of a regular song when you put them all together.
Yeah, I guess.
5 minutes or so. But that was only 150 of them.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. So we will follow this and see what goes on with that. Let's move on.
We're gonna play the entire thing and comment on it as we go. It's gonna be a 3-day long thing.
that we won't understand because it'll be all in Japanese.
It'll just be us Google translating the song into English.
All right, going on to the question of the week, which we had a couple answers. It was, what do you collect? Kate said, I collect Cubone items, scarves, and books. I mostly collect books I like, but I do have a decent collection of antique books, including a first edition of Edgar Allan Poe's complete works.
Yeah, I'm pretty jealous of that. I
Yeah,
love Poe.
I'll be honest, I haven't really read any of his. Do you own any old books? I know you like to read.
I have a first edition Catcher in the Rye that's pretty cool, but I don't like collect them. I have a buddy who collects. He has like a bunch of first edition like Faulkner books and stuff, but honestly, I kind of hate Faulkner, so
Okay.
I'm not jealous of that collection.
I don't know if it was a first edition. Probably not, because I feel like it'd
Mm,
be worth a whole lot more. But my dad used to have a very old version of Uncle Tom's Cabin.
nice.
I feel like a first edition of that would sell for thousands of dollars
Probably.
because that book is old. All right, going on. If you want to answer our question of the week, we don't have any other comments or any education. So don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at Pokemon Snapshot or send us an email at thepokemonsnapshot@gmail.com. You can also find us on YouTube and TikTok. Just search for the Pokemon Snapshot. We post short clips on both platforms, and if you'd rather watch the full episode, the complete video is available on our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a rating on your favorite listening app so other Pokemon fans can discover the podcast. All right, Josh, let's go on to
Hold
our
on,
next.
you skipped the questions of the. Oh no, you didn't. You skipped strongest muffin.
I skipped Strongest Muffin. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Strongest Muffin.
you can't skip the muffin. He's gonna beat you up. He's the strongest one.
Sorry, Strongest Muffin also answered our question of the week, and he said he collects anime figures, Lego, and manga. I guess I collect Lego too. I have a cool Lego set I'm in the process of building together because they have like their Legoland sets, which are exclusive to Legoland. Well, in the mall near us, they have technically a Legoland, but it's an indoor little thing. So they sell the exclusive sets.
That's cool.
Yes. My next big set I want to get the Luigi Mario Kart set because I have the Mario Kart set.
Nice. I got you, Muffin. I won't let Jeff skip you next time.
Sorry. All right. Now going on to our next segment.
Previously on Pokemon.
All right. Previously on Pokemon, Ash and the gang got swept up in a massive storm and washed ashore on Shamooti Island, or as Josh prefers, Shabooti Island. A rebellious teenager named Melody quickly roped Ash into playing the chosen one for their local festival. However, the tourist trap became all too real when a villain named Lawrence III, flying a ship that looked like a Roman Colosseum with propellers, began capturing the legendary birds. This threw the world's climate into absolute chaos, forcing Ash to actually step up and collect 3 elemental orbs to help Lugia save the day. Amidst the apocalyptic weather and a Zapdos that sounded like a guy getting murdered in a sound booth, Ash successfully gathered the spheres. Even Team Rocket became unexpected heroes, sacrificing themselves to lighten Lugia's load while dropping a highly topical Weight Watchers joke. In the end, Ash restored harmony by triggering a Bonnaroo-style mystical music festival, successfully saving the world just in time to get scolded by his mom.
Wonderful recap, Jeff.
Thank you. It was a fun one, and I'm just gonna spoiler. This one isn't as fun.
Oh, it's so bad. It sucks. I'm gonna be honest with you. Our episode is good, but this Pokemon episode sucks.
Yeah, so going on to this week's episode, we watched the episode The Pokémon Water War, or as it was called in Japanese, Firefighting Showdown, Squirtle versus Wartortle. This episode aired on July 29th, 1999 in Japan and August 26, 2000 in the United States. And looking back at these dates, again, Kids WB just aired episodes out of order.
Mm-hmm.
Because we were in September before, like 2 episodes before this, and now we're back in August again. You think they would have known what order to air these in?
They sent the episodes over to America, and we immediately fumbled it.
Yep. All right. So the put us kind of in a little snapshot, no pun intended, I guess, of what was going on in the world at this time. The number 1 movie at the box office was Bring It On, the iconic teen cheerleader comedy starring Kirsten Dunst and Gabrielle Union. It did beat out, Gabrielle.
Look, you put respect on Gabrielle Union's name.
Sorry.
That's one of the few expectations I have here, Jeff.
But it did beat out Wesley Snipes' action thriller, The Art of War, which debuted in 2nd place. The number 1 song, which has been the number 1 song for the last few episodes, besides the movie, because that aired before this episode was Does It Really Matter by Janet Jackson. Fun fact, because we were talking about this movie, I learned that it was the lead single for the soundtrack to the hit Eddie Murphy comedy Nutty Professor 2: The Clumps. So I guess that's why
Janet Jackson was in those movies.
Yeah, a film in my notes say a film in which Jackson also co-starred.
I didn't see that part. I've just seen those movies several times.
So there we go. That's why this song has been at the top of the charts. It's because of Nutty Professor 2. I've never seen a Nutty Professor movie.
They're pretty funny. Eddie Murphy plays all the members of his character's family, and he's in bodysuits, so he's playing like 6 different characters. It's pretty funny. I mean, it's stupid. Don't get me wrong. It's really dumb, but it's really funny.
All right. So going on to, there was actually some interesting TV airing around this time. So this episode aired on August 26th. On August 23rd, the Survivor Borneo finale aired. It was the biggest TV water cooler moment of the decade. 51.7 million people tuned in to watch it.
Wow.
That's insane to see Richard Hatch take it away. Do you know what's special about Richard Hatch, though? Do you know what he did with his winnings?
Did he blow it on a casino?
No, he forgot to tell the IRS about his winnings.
Oh,
and then ended up he like spent a lot of time in jail, and I think he is still having legal repercussions because of this.
He kind of sounds like a douche.
Well, he was kind of a villain in the show. I mean, he won it for he deserved the win. But the reason I think it's kind of cool that this aired around this time because we are in the middle of Survivor season 50.
Wow. It's crazy.
Yep.
It just puts you back in that time.
Some world news around this time. We had on August 23rd, the National Institute of Health released highly debated guidelines that for the first time allowed federally funded scientific research on human embryonic stem cells.
Oh, neat.
I like this one on August 20. August 23rd was a big day. A massive media frenzy ensued when Warner Brothers officially introduced the world to an unknown 11-year-old named Daniel Radcliffe. Alongside Rupert Grint and Emma Watson, they were announced as the leads for the highly anticipated Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone film adaptation.
I remember when they made that announcement, and I can't remember. I read the first book around that time, and I probably thought it was like super cool. Like they did something about it in like my 5th grade yearbook, I guess, to like commemorate all the pop culture things that had happened that year. But looking back on it now, I was like, I feel bad for like little kids that are like casting this stuff because they're just going to get harassed by weirdos online all the time.
Yeah, the 3 that are in the new Harry Potter show, they're just being horrible online.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember this too. I don't remember the exact casting revealed, but I remember watching something, or it might have been in a magazine about the casting of the Harry Potter and like all these kids that went out for it. I mean, and just like the show that's going on now, that's gonna go on at the end of the year, is they cast thousands of kids.
Yeah.
Audition for these parts.
Right.
I'm actually really excited about the show coming up, so I hope it's good.
Me too.
And then the last bit of news, I kind of put this in here just because, Josh, I'm a professional wrestling fan.
Right.
Well, on August 27th, their annual pay-per-view SummerSlam took place, and it was the first time they had a TLC match. Do you know what TLC match stands for?
Like the girls group that sings Scrubs or No Scrubs?
Not the girls group that sings
Waterfalls?
Scrubs. Nope. TLC stands for Tables, Ladders, and Chairs.
Oh.
And the first match was the Hardy Boys versus the Dudley Boys versus Edge and Christian. I'm a huge wrestling fan, so I'm a nerd like that. But that is our world news. So that was fun. I'm glad I could get a little more information on this stuff.
Yeah, I really feel back in the time. It just makes me like yearn for pre 9/11 America.
Yes. All right. So, Josh, let's get into this week's episode.
This is the Pokémon Water War. Hot off their adventure-filled feature-length film, Team Ash are in for an episode so full of filler it could join the cast of Vanderpump Rules. As they take a detour to some port town that I'm going to assume has a name, but I don't really care enough to look up, Ash at least acknowledges that Lapras needs a break after both literally and figuratively carrying the team on its back for the entire Orange Island arc so far.
So we are on Ascorbia Island. I don't know, which isn't named after a citrus fruit, but after ascorbic. Is that how you pronounce it?
So, ascorbic acid, I always thought it was ascorbic acid. I guess I just misheard that.
Ascorbic. I don't know.
Kate, help us out, please. We're stupid.
It's known as vitamin C. So they didn't even name this after a piece of citrus. They named it after what citrus is composed of.
Oh, they were really strapped for for other citrus fruits to come up with.
Did they? So I got this on my notes, but did they even say the name of the island in the episode? I don't even remember this. So this might be coming from somewhere else.
I think they just said something like they took a detour to a nearby island or something.
Okay.
They were trying to warn us that we were in for some filler. Not Brock wants to go check out an art museum like a nerd, but Ash is only interested in a double cheeseburger and a side of fries. And for once, I agree with Ash. Do you have any controversial food opinions? Because I have one. I have one very
controversial food opinions. I mean, I'm a picky eater, so there's lots of foods I don't like.
You are a picky eater, but
and I know you hate picky eaters.
Yes, I do. So you want to hear my controversial food opinion?
What is your controversial food opinion?
You know the saying, like, people will, like, they'll be tempted by something, and he says, why go out for burgers when you have steak at home?
You'd rather go out for burgers over steak any day?
Yeah, I like burgers more than I like steak. Now, that's not to say that steak can't be delicious. Like, if you do steak at the house and you get like the cast iron roaring hot and you cook it right, like if it's medium rare, obviously steak is going to be delicious. But like if I'm going out to a restaurant, I'm never, ever, ever going to order steak.
You know, I'm with you. In fact, I will more than likely, like, if I don't feel like a burger, I'll get chicken over steak.
Yeah. Like, even at nice restaurants, like, I'm not going to order their steak just because it's not as good as I can make it at home. It just never. Like, even when you go to, like, really expensive, like, steakhouses, just no.
No, but they can have amazing burgers. Yeah, I'm with you. And what's funny is I'm not a huge steak person. I think it's because growing up, and this is kind of funny. So one of my best friends, his family, I grew up on a farm, so we had steak all the time. My dad would butcher cows, we would get steak, our own steak, or whether and whatever. My friend, so we usually had a tradition of on Christmas afternoon, after we did all our family stuff, my two best friends and I would go over to his house. We'd usually have Christmas dinner with his family. This is all through high school and college.
This is the most Iowa thing I've ever heard.
Yes, and they would, like, their fancy meal was steaks, but both my other friend and we had steak all the time because both our dads were, like, hunters. We were used to having meat. So it wasn't any special, like, steak was a normal weeknight meal for us. It wasn't anything special. Now, I don't have steak very often anymore because I'm not around that environment anymore.
Right, yeah. And I like steak. Like, I've always eaten steak, and I like steak, but give me a burger all day, every day.
Yeah, people would get mad at me because I'm one of those people, I don't mind putting ketchup on my steak.
Okay, we're going to have to end the podcast indefinitely now. I'm going to put my foot down. As far as controversial food opinions, that's way worse. That's an incorrect opinion. Who are you, Donald Trump?
Is steak no, because it's actually steak and not McDonald's.
Well, true, but he does put ketchup on his steaks too.
Well, I'm sorry.
That's how I knew I never liked the guy. No, good. If you do good steak, you don't need to dip it in steak sauce. I do like Heinz 57 and A1 though.
See, what's the difference? That's a sauce too. It's a condiment.
But it's ketchup, not on a steak. We have to move on or I'm going to throw up.
In my house, it's at least Heinz ketchup.
No, you're not forgiven for this.
Okay.
I don't know if I can look at you anymore. I'm going to have to take the picture-in-picture off. Suddenly, a group of locals tear off in the same direction, which means it's time to roll the title card.
The Pokémon Water War!
Nearby, Officer Jenny does some crowd control while a warehouse goes up in flames. Misty and Ash jump into action and send out Staryu and Squirtle to fight the fire, but their water guns are ineffective. But the more important question is, where do they hold all of that water? They're just like constantly just spurting water, and like they're like an endless reservoir.
I'm going to guess maybe water Pokemon like absorb the moisture from the atmosphere.
Oh,
That probably is how it works. If they're not in water, they can absorb it from the atmosphere. I mean, I'm sure there's some scientific
Are
thing
they
about
pulling
it.
oxygen out of the air? Because wouldn't the people around them suffocate?
You know what? Let's not get into the science of this. I don't
It took
know.
every brain cell I had to remember all the words to describe it. So yeah, maybe we probably should.
All right, so I want to look back on this part of the episode because Team Ash are walking along and they see a bunch of people running by them. They realize that they are all running towards the fire because, in small towns, everyone has to know what is going on.
Everyone's
So it's
nosy. It's like your island.
Yep, but instead of staying out of the way and letting the professionals do their thing, Ash and Missy just help without being asked.
Classic. A couple of 10-year-olds.
Yeah. I feel like there should be some kind of felony for doing something like that, especially since Officer Jenny was explicitly telling everyone to stay back.
Yeah, there are zero repercussions for putting themselves in danger, especially what happens next. Hope seems lost when the fire squad finally shows up with their elite team of firefighting Wartortle. Part of the building falls, nearly crushing Squirtle and Staryu, but the Wartortle save them just in time. As the Wartortle put out the fire, Squirtle watches in quiet disdain. Squirtle's whole butt is hurt. He's like a little butthurt squirt. Everyone salutes each other for some reason, and then the firefighter captain takes Team Ash to the firefighter school to show them how they train teams of Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise to fight fires. Jeff, can we get some sound of the Wartortle training camp here?
Wartortle, 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 Wartortle.
Now this is Team Blastoise. They use Hydro Pump to put out the biggest blazes, and we use Team Squirtle to put out fires in very tight spots.
A squad of firefighting Squirtle, Wartortle, and Blastoise. I gotta make some sketches of this.
And here comes Team Wartortle now. They're a perfect combination of Blastoise's power and Squirtle's maneuverability. They're an unbeatable firefighting force. A tin hut!
Wartortle, Wartortle. Wow, they're cool.
The fire captain also kind of looks like Brock, so I'm going to call him kind of Brock. So now we have Brock, not Brock, and kind of Brock.
And you can guess which one we put at the bottom of this list.
You don't have to guess. Squirtle is still in a pissy mood, which Misty says is because it got mogged by the Wartortle. Jeff, this is my attempt to connect to the youths by the way that they talk. I have no idea what it means, but I'm like 60% sure I used it correctly. Any Zoomers out there, or this might be a Gen Alpha thing, I don't really know. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I have no idea what you said. I guess I'm just not Sigma enough to understand the Riz or however the kids say it.
I don't think you understand Riz, Jeff. I think you have it or
the
you don't.
Riz.
And of course, you do.
I do.
Squirtle puts on its Squirtle Squad glasses. And Jeff, can you give us a quick recap of the Squirtle Squad for those of us like not Brock and myself who weren't part of the team yet?
Yes, and I did kind of explain this in the Pikachu's Rescue Adventure short. The Squirtle Squad originally formed as a band of outlaws consisting of 5 Squirtle who had been abandoned by their trainers. Feeling rejected by the world, they channeled their frustration into organized mischief, roaming the Kanto region and playing elaborate pranks on local townsfolk. Their reign of petty crime came to an end when they encountered Ash. After running with Team Rocket, the leader realized there was more to life than being a nuisance and decided to join Ash on his journey. Under the guidance of Officer Jenny, they transitioned from public nuisances to the town's official firefighting brigade, putting their water gun skills to professional use.
They're like the trailer park boys of Squirtle, is basically what it is. That's a TV show. I'm not making fun of people that live in trailer parks. Kind of Brock and Team Ash decide to indulge Squirtle's temper tantrum by giving it what it wants and letting it compete against the Wartortle. And I'm just going to say it. I don't care. Send me all your hate mail. That's bad Poké-Parenting. They're just reinforcing that anytime Squirtle doesn't get its way, it just has to put on its Squirtle Squad glasses and throw a temper tantrum to get its way. Look, I'm not saying you should beat your kids, but I'm not saying you shouldn't rough them up a little bit if it gets to that point. Obviously, I'm joking. That's a joke, people. Did you ever get spanked as a kid, Jeff? Like if you got in trouble?
Yeah, and I kind of have a funny story about this. My mom had the wooden spoon, but here's the thing. she thought she was being intimidating because she got this giant wooden spoon. But the thing is, it took so much strength for her to swing it. By the time it got to our behinds, it didn't hurt.
she couldn't get up enough velocity.
Nope.
Yeah, I have some other stories about you getting spanked, but I can't tell them on the air. Yeah, and I'm from the South. You know, they used to beat me within an inch of my life. My grandmother would do like the psychological torture thing too, and if I was bad, she would make me go outside and pick off a switch from the tree. And of course, I would come back with like a little twig, and then that would just make the beating even worse. Yeah.
My dad used to say my grandpa did the same thing to him. And he says if it was a soft one, they had to go get another one. But I'm going to agree with you because I do have a license in behavior analysis. And yeah, by him throwing a temper tantrum and giving him what it wants, he's going to do it again just to get what he wants.
Exactly. The official stance of the Pokemon Snapshot is that you should not beat your kids, but it has worked for like thousands of years. Like most of us have turned out okay. Wartortle and Squirtle have a stare down while Pikachu watches on, all while Team Rocket watches at a distance as they plan to steal Pikachu and all the water Pokemon. The Water War begins with a race between Squirtle and Wartortle. The race is neck and neck until Squirtle trips over a rock, rolls over Wartortle, and they both cross the finish line at the exact same time. Kind of Brock challenges Squirtle to participate in an all-day Wartortle training session. Pikachu, like a true bro, hypes up Squirtle. As training begins, the group has target practice using Water Gun. Kind of Brock says he doesn't want to see any sickly little trickles. And for any of our older listeners, if you have any little trickles, it might be time to have your prostate checked.
Guess that rubbing really worked.
It's the only way to find out, Jeff. You got to take care of the prostate. Their target practice is done by skeet shooting, which is what it's actually called. I'm not being weird.
Have I ever told you my funny story about skeet shooting?
Probably not the one you're about to tell me.
I only have one. I feel like I might have said it on this podcast, but we're 115 episodes in, so who knows how. I'm just going to tell it. So when I was in high school, we did I was in FFA, which people go stands for Future Farmers of America. And actually, by the time I was in high school, they would go, no, we're just the FFA. It didn't stand for anything because...
That's a weird hill to die on.
Well, their whole stance was that there's more to the FFA than just farming.
Well, I guess farms are usually pretty flat, so they really don't have a hill to stand on or to die on.
So... I was part of this competition. It was where only freshmen could enter it.
Mm-hmm.
And what you did is you had to run a fake FFA meeting. So you had like your opening ceremonies. You all had your saying you had to have. Then during the competition, you were handed random topics. And you had to, when you talked about the topics, you had to follow Robert's Rules of Order. Have you heard of Robert's Rules of Order?
No idea.
So it's just kind of like the typical way you would follow a meeting. So if you wanted to talk, you would stand up and go, Mr. President. And then he'd have to, like if I was a treasurer, he would go, Mr. Treasurer. And then you'd say what you have. So just so people aren't talking over each other.
Mm-hmm.
So we were in a practice once, and the topic we got was we were going to have a skeet shooting competition.
Mm-hmm.
14-year-old Jeff did not really know what skeet shooting was, but he somehow had to have a meeting. I don't remember what part I was playing. So the president goes, the next topic on the table is skeet shooting competition. And people are talking about the skeet shooting, and you all during the competition have to say something. Now, this is at least during practice, not the competition.
Right.
So I stand up, very sure of myself, and I go, Mr. President. And he calls on me, and I look at him right in the face, and I go, I think we should skeet shoot beavers. Because I just thought it was a shooting competition, not realizing it was the clay pigeons going into the sky.
Why would you shoot a beaver?
I don't.
That's why they're angry.
I was trying to be funny, and I just screwed it all up. And yeah, you cannot skeet shoot beavers. Cannot throw beavers into the sky.
How did everyone react?
Even to this day, if I see some of those people, they still remember me and my skeet shooting beavers.
Everyone was laughing, I assume.
Yes, it was a good laugh to the point where my FFA advisor was like, guys, we have to get back on track.
Just chucking beavers in the air.
So yeah, that is my funny story about skeet shooting that didn't actually happen.
The Squirtle and Wartortle, who I will be collectively referring to as Squirtortle, are so good it makes the others step up their game, but training is cut short when a Team Rocket drone lures the entire group away. They capture the entire Wartortle squadron as well as Squirtle in a net just as their motto begins. So just to be clear, there's one leader, Wartortle, who wears like a gold sash. That's the one that teams up with Squirtle, so they are Squirtle, and the others are just the Wartortles.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say it's not just a net. He lures them. Team Rocket lures them into a hole, and then as they fall in the hole, that leads us to our.
Who's that Pokemon?
Look, Josh, I got started this time.
I know you got to introduce it for once. I love that for you.
So our Who's That Pokemon for this week is Wartortle.
Nice. I did it again.
Her Pokemon for this week is Wartortle,
Don't cut it out. I love it every time it happens.
which in Japanese is known as Kameo.
Well, you could probably cut that one out, though.
Me and
Just
my
kidding.
Japanese. Some basic information on Wartortle. It's number 8 in the Pokedex. It is a water type. It is 3 foot 3 inches tall and weighs 49.6 pounds, and it is known as the turtle Pokemon. And it evolves into Blastoise at level 36. All right, Wartortle's name. Wartortle's English name is a straightforward mashup of 3 different words. It starts with war or warrior, which points to its more aggressive battle-ready nature compared to Squirtle, as well as the scratches on its shell that the Pokedex mentions are signs of a tough fighter. It then blends tortoise, a land-dwelling reptile with a heavy shell, and turtle, an aquatic reptile with a shell. Put it all together and you basically get a battle-hardened aquatic tank ready to throw down. Its Japanese name. In Japanese, Wartortle goes by, it says right here, it's pronounced Kameru. That's not how it's spelled. It uses kame, which is the Japanese word for both turtle and tortoise. The teru portion is a corruption of the English word tail, which in direct nod to Wartortle's iconic fluffy tail. Kameru translates to able to bite or no chew in Japanese, which perfectly matches up with Wartortle's design. Notice those little fangs sticking out and the fact that it famously learns the move bite. What is Wartortle based off of? So Wartortle's overall design and concept draw from a few distinct real-world and mythological inspirations. At its core, Wartortle is an amphibious mix based on both turtles, aquatic reptiles with shells, and tortoises, land-dwelling reptiles with heavy shells. A major focal point of its design is its iconic fluffy tail, which is actually based on the Minogame. In Japanese lore, the Minogame is a legendary turtle that lived for 10,000 years and grew long flowing tail made of seaweed. Wartortle's biology. Wartortle is a bipedal indigo-colored reptilian Pokemon that closely resembles a turtle. Its face features brown eyes, striking dark blue streaks on its cheeks, and 2 sharp teeth protruding from its upper jaw. Flanking its head are distinct feather-like ears covered in pale blue fur, and it has 3 clawed fingers and pointed toes. Its body is protected by a heavy brown shell with pale yellow underside, divided by a thick white rim. As a Wartortle ages, the shell often gathers battle scars and algae. Poking out from the shell is a thick, wavy tail covered in the same pale blue fur, which cannot be fully withdrawn into its shell. The fur darkens as the Pokemon grows older because the tail is viewed as a symbol of longevity and good luck. Wartortle is a highly popular Pokemon among the elderly. Carrying a much larger and heavier shell than Squirtle, Wartortle has a harder time keeping its balance on land and in water. To compensate, it smartly uses its furry ears and tails as rudders and balancing rods to stay steady while swimming at high speeds. This fur also traps air, allowing Wartortle to dive underwater for extended periods. It is a stealthy hunter, hiding submerged in water to ambush unsuspecting prey. While they have been seen living in large island colonies, such as in the anime episode Beach Blankout Blastoise, their preferred habitats are typically freshwater ponds and lakes. Even when resting, Wartortle stays on high alert. It sleeps tucked safely inside its shell, but leaves its sensitive tail exposed to feel out the surrounding environment for approaching danger. Back in Generation 2, Wartortle and its evolutionary family held a unique distinction. They were the only known Pokemon capable of learning the move Skull Bash, naturally, though other Pokemon could still inherit the move through breeding. All right, some Pokedex entries on Wartortle. Red and Blue says, often hides in water to stalk unwary prey. For swimming fast, it moves its ears to maintain balance. Pokemon Yellow says, when tapped, this Pokemon will pull in its head, but its tail will still stick out a little bit. Okay, Pokemon Yellow.
Very precise.
Pokemon Stadium says, the tail is covered with a rich fur. It stores air in the fur before taking extended dives underwater.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it can store the air in its fur to help it breathe longer.
I store some air in my tail too, Jeff.
That's just a fart. Pokemon Gold says, it is recognized as a symbol of longevity. If its shell has algae on it, that Wartortle is very old. Pokemon Silver says, it cleverly controls its furry ears and tails to maintain its balance while swimming. Pokemon Crystal says, its long furry tail is a symbol of longevity, making it quite popular among older people. Ruby and Sapphire says, its tail is large and covered with a rich, thick fur. The tail becomes increasingly deeper in color as Wartortle ages. The scratches on its shell are evidence of this Pokemon's toughness as a battler. Pokemon Fire Red says, this Pokemon is very popular as a pet. Its fur-covered tail is a symbol of longevity. Pokemon Diamond and Pearl says, it is said to live 10,000 years. Its furry tail is popular as a symbol of longevity. 10,000 years is a long time.
It is a long time. That sounds terrible. I would hate to live for that long.
Imagine all the people you would see die around you.
I know. That's why it'd be such a sad existence.
And then lastly, from Pokemon Sleep, it says, it remains wary of threats as it sleeps with its body tucked into its shell. But even then, its long furry tail pokes out a bit. Perhaps it's using the fur on its tail to feel out its surroundings.
Oh, I feel out my surroundings.
And that is our Who's That Pokemon segment on Wartortle.
Who's that Pokemon?
Just as Team Rocket is about to lift off, Meowth uses some extendable hands to grab Pikachu, and they put it in a shock-proof glass container that powers their portable fan.
All right. Real quickly, I want to mention here that Team Rocket, during this part, they send out their Pokemon. And the website I watch it on, I had subtitles on because it kind of helps me when you're asking me like lore and stuff that I can just read what they're saying.
Right.
To figure out what I need to say. So every time James sends out wheezing, and Wheezing does his wheezing thing, my subtitles don't say wheezing. All it says is exhausted.
That's funny.
Yeah. And I'm like, I feel you, Wheezing. That is how I feel every time I have to leave my house too.
He's like, bro, I was in the middle of an episode.
Yeah. And also Tracy brings out Scyther and he immediately gets out of breath. And can't we just let that man retire?
Seriously. Then there's a weird scene where they're wearing kimonos and eating. Jeff, can you describe this for the people, please?
All right. So, well, first of all, they have Pikachu connected to an electric fan. And James goes, Pikachu's our #1 fan. Sorry, I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
This just seems to be a random scene. They have an Arbok and Wheezing as Japanese glass bells. Those are known as Furin, which are bells hung around Shinto shrines in order to protect from disasters and ward off evil spirits. We will actually have a Pokemon in Ruby and Sapphire based off of those bells called Chimeko.
Oh, I think I've seen those.
Yeah, so they're based off of those Furin bells. They also seem to be eating kakagori, which is just Japanese shaved ice. We usually get it when we go to Epcot and Disney World.
Nice.
But I couldn't really find anything. All my research could tell you is that they're just having a daydream about beating the heat, I guess, because the episode aired during the summer.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing.
Before they fly off in their hot air balloon, James has Wheezing smog the place up, so Knockbrock sends out Scyther to do a Tasmanian devil spin. And after clearing the area of smog, Scyther is super tired, like you said. It's like as cool as Scyther is in general, Knockbrock got like the oldest and jankiest one he could find.
Yeah, as I said, they just need to let that man retire. Let him live out the rest of his Pokemon life in paradise, and that definitely isn't with Knockbrock.
That would be anywhere else. Ash falls to his knees in the middle of the forest, but if history is any indication, Team Rocket is going to find a way to smog this one up too. At a nearby log cabin, Team Rocket lands and makes camp. Like, just keep flying, and you would have gotten away with it. Like, all you had to do was not land the hot air balloon, and you would have gotten away with it. Pikachu tries to free itself to no avail, and Squirtle gnaws on the net that it and the Wartortle are trapped in, but that does no good. Team Rocket hopes for a huge bonus from Giovanni for bringing back so many Pokemon, but it's not long before they begin arguing over who gets to keep which Pokemon. Jessie tells Meowth to cut it out like she's Uncle Joey from Full House, which is still a trash show. My opinion has not changed from last week. So Meowth scratches Jessie and James on the face, causing a Team Rocket brawl. While Team Rocket dukes it out, Squirtle and Wartortle discuss strategy in their net.
Man, for not liking Full House, you sure bring it up a lot.
Well, they said cut it out again. It's the only thing I remember about Full House.
In the Japanese version of this scene, they actually showed Meowth scratching Jessie and James, but I guess that was too violent for us Americans because they animated a black background with stars for us.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Team Ash have Venonat being useful for once, as it uses its sight to try and locate the missing Pokemon. Kind of Brock gets a call from Officer Jenny to tell him that there is a fire somewhere. Dude, how does the city have so many fires? I know, I hear the fire truck go by, relatively often, but it's not every day. It's not twice in the same day, surely. But the Blastoise can't get there because the road is blocked by an overturned truck. I love Blastoise, but y'all have feet. Just run there. Take a side road or something.
Yeah, I had the same note. It's a city. Just go down a different block. You'll end up there. So you keep mentioning the fire captain, and this is also a good time to mention that his name is actually Aidan. They do say that in the episode. I know you like calling him kind of Brock. In Japanese, he was known as Russell, which makes no sense why they would change it. That's also an American name.
Yeah, what?
Why did they have to go through? And it's even the same number of syllables. So it's not like they had to change much there. It is speculated that he is based off of Kurt Russell's character in the movie Backdraft, which is about Chicago firefighters.
Oh, that would make sense. And also, I feel like people in America would understand that reference.
Maybe not. I think that was a late 80s movie, so who knows who would understand it.
Well, the kids wouldn't, but the team of Squirtles are trying to put out the fire, but that's like giving Jeff and me a garden hose and telling us to put out a house fire. It's like that scene from The Little Rascals where they put out the clubhouse fire.
Wait, what's the number to 911? I love that movie.
Yeah, great movie. Misty hops out to help with the aid of Notbrock's geriatric Scyther and his Meryl. Back with Team Rocket, the gloves are finally coming off, but the net full of Squirtortles shoot. I'm just going back and forth with the Squirtortle thing. Just know it doesn't matter. It's a Squirtle and some Wartortle. None of it matters. But the net full of Squirtortles shoot water at the same time, flooding the log cabin and Team Rocket along with it. Meow tries to counter with its claws, but ends up just shredding the net as the Squirtortles recede into their shells. Team Ash shows up, so Team Rocket throws out Arbok and Weezing, but the water attacks are too much, and when combined with Pikachu's electricity, Team Rocket is blasted off once again. Do Team Rocket ever get new Pokemon? Because I'm kind of sick of Arbok and Weezing. They need some new blood there.
Well, they do have Victory Bell and Lickitung.
Yeah, they're lame too, though.
Yeah, in Johto, a new Pokemon will eventually be introduced to Team Rocket's team, and like Meowth, this new Pokemon, one of them's going to catch it, but it's more of a member of Team Rocket's team rather than a Pokemon that they own. I don't want to spoil it. People seem to love that one. And then they eventually get brand new Pokemon in Hoenn, but that is more than 200 episodes away, so we're not reaching there for a while.
We're going to be the age of Notbrock Scyther by the time we get there.
So get used to Arbok and Weezing as their main fighters.
All right. Back at the burning building, Misty and her team fight the fire in vain. A molten piece of the... Misty's 0 for 2 this episode in fighting fires. I don't know why she goes to help every time. A molten piece of the building breaks off and falls towards her, but luckily Squirtortles show up just in time to blast it apart with a water gun. Some idiot kid screams from a balcony. I would have just let it go. But Squirtle puts on its shades, and it and Wartortle are flung onto the building by a Blastoise. They grab the idiot kid, who rides on Wartortle's back while Squirtle blasts the fires with a water gun attack. They leap from the building just as it explodes, engulfing the entire block in flames. Just kidding. They leap from the building just as the fires are extinguished, but that visual isn't nearly as cool. Squirtle and Wartortle dap it up, and everyone's super stoked on everything. The next morning, Kind of Brock and the Wartortle squad see Team Ash on their way to the next filler adventure. Squirtle and Wartortle bro down one last time, and they make a big deal about how they can't believe that those two are friends, which doesn't really make sense to me since Wartortle is just a leveled up Squirtle, but whatever. But with one final salute, Team Ash heads on their way and into the end of our episode.
And yeah, that's the end of our episode, Josh. And what did you think of this episode?
So that's a 3 out of 10 for me. It's a lame filler episode. Kind of Brock was kind of fun.
I thought this episode was kind of boring,
Yeah.
which also has the same initials, KOB.
There you go.
I'm more leaning towards a 2 out of 10. It's just an episode full of filler. Well, actually, we call it a filler episode because, we use not filler when something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Aidan and his team of Wartortles come back. So does that make this not a filler episode because he does come back?
How soon did they come back?
Not till Johto, and a ways into Johto.
Like how many episodes are we talking here?
I don't know. I'd have to go and count.
No, it's filler.
No. Okay.
It's filler.
All right. So going on to our question of the week, which our question of the week this week is, what is your favorite water activity? What is your favorite water activity, Josh?
Inner tubing. When I was in middle and high school, we had friends that lived on the lake, and they would pull like the inner tube behind their speedboat or whatever.
We did that too.
It is a literal miracle that one of us didn't end up in a wheelchair or worse.
Yep. There were no rules when we did tubing down
Zero.
the lake.
It was the Wild West on the high seas.
And then I meet other people that are like, let's go tubing. And then it's just sitting in an inner tube as you float down the lake. I'm like, this isn't tubing.
This isn't tubing. If you're not fearing for your life, it's not tubing.
Yeah, I do enjoy tubing. I also enjoy swimming. I'm not good at it.
Mhm.
It was kind of a funny story. When I was a camp counselor, they had the kids would do like 2 activities a day. And as counselors, we would put what were we the most interested in teaching during these activities. And I don't know, I always put swimming at the top because it was always hot. So I got to go spend some time in the water, but no one else had swimming as their number one. So I was always chosen to do the swimming activity. And so I just got to spend my time down in the lake. I think people just didn't like to swim in the lake. I'm like, whatever. I grew up swimming in a lake.
Yeah.
But don't forget, if you want to answer this question, you can follow us on Twitter at Pokemon Snapshot or send us an email at thepokemonsnapshot@gmail.com. You can also find us on YouTube and TikTok. Just search for the Pokemon Snapshot. We post short clips on both platforms, and if you'd rather watch the full episode, the complete video is available on our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a rating on your favorite listening app so other Pokemon fans can discover the podcast. All right, Josh, you have anything else to add?
Not today, Jeff.
I don't know why I ask you this every time.
Occasionally I have something to say, but usually.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So please join us next time when we will be watching Pokemon Food Fight.